Hey everybody, it has been exactly 1 day since I posted the hydrangea pruning video, and in it I told you that I wasn't going to prune anymore until all the hydrangeas had gone completely dormant. But then I got up this morning and we're having a perfect fall day, and I thought I do not want to be pruning hydrangeas when it's cold and damp and miserable out. So I came out today and I started pruning this row. I'm going to just do the outside ones, save the other ones for later, and there's even a rainbow. I don't know if you can see it. Oh, there it is. It's right there. So we had just like this random 5 minutes of rain and then it was gone. Anyway, I'm going to show you because in this row, there's a couple of hydrangeas that are really good examples of ones that you might be confused on exactly what to do. So this should give you a little confidence with some of your problematic hydrangeas as well. So I'll show you on these. So this one here is one of the Limelight Primes that I had planted out, and then it poured down rain the very next day, and so I had to stake it up, and a lot of the branches just got really droopy. And so I'm going to treat this one exactly the same. Now you might feel like you've got to do something special with it, but you don't. Basically I'm going to just undo this, and then I'm going to still count my 1, 2, 3 and just cut it off right there. And I'm going to do that with the whole thing, and I'm not going to have to worry about it. There's a branch right here that has this kind of gnarly turn in it, which it'll be fine. I could trim it back down over here, but I think I'm going to trim it a little bit closer just because I want to kind of correct that a little bit. So I think I'm going to go all the way back over here and just let it kind of come back from there. Actually, I probably should trim this one off too. It'll be fine. You could do it whichever way you prefer. So that's another example. And then like this one has this kind of towering one as well. And it's sometimes really, you get nervous and you think, oh, I've got to leave the height on it. I'm not going to. I'm going to go back down. I'm going to do 1, 2, about 3, and I'm still going to cut it off. Just because I want to keep a nice, dense foliage and branching down at the bottom. So that's what works for me. And if I'm looking a little closer, 1, 2, 3, I can probably even go a little shorter than that. So there we go. And we'll take these out too. Here's another branch. Look at how it's really limp and not very healthy. I'm cutting it way back over here just because I want to encourage the healthier branches a little bit more. So that's what I'm working on here. Now over here, I have one of the big leaf hydrangeas, the Macrophyllas, and this one obviously needed one more dose of Sluggo because that's some bug damage on those leaves, but they're going to be just fine for next year. That's all I have to do is cut off the flower on this one. No big deal. One thing you might notice on these big leaf hydrangeas is if you start at the flower head and kind of work your way down, you'll notice that there's going to be these kind of bulging buds coming out. Now those are the flowers and the buds for next year and leaves, so you want to cut above those. So you can cut where I cut it, or you could go higher than that. Just know that if you cut those off, you're cutting off next year's blooms. So I thought I'd show you the bulging buds can kind of vary. So there's one, whereas these over here are quite a bit bigger, but they're going to behave the same way next year. So I just wanted to show you exactly how those work. On these little quick fires, I love that they have a little bit different leaf than some of the other paniculata varieties, and they actually are very easy to prune just because the branching is just really nice structure to it. So they're easy to prune because you can clearly see where everything is, and the leaves start turning a little bit different color, which I really like. They just have and they also are a little more ripply compared to some of the other paniculata varieties. So just a nice little change up, and I really do like these quick fires. So I realize it looks a little bit like hydrangea carnage here, but I promise the hydrangeas don't mind. Oh, see, see this kind of wimpy, weak one? That one's got to go. I'm taking that one out. Now I have noticed that with the Bobos and the Limelights and a couple others, they just lend themselves, in my opinion, for just hedging. For some reason I just find it easier, but you can do it either way. And then let's see, I'm going to show you, I have another one down here that I'm going to just do one last example. So again, we have one towering stem here, and I'm going to just cut that one right back. 1, 2, 3. I know it seems like a lot, but it's not bad. And then over here, I have this one right here that's really going horizontal on me. I'm tempted to cut that one right here, but I'm just going to go right there. I really want it to start growing upwards from there. And then any of the other ones that are kind of low or in the wrong direction, I do trim those away, but I don't see any real bad ones on this one. And then I have this one over here is kind of really leaning heavily, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of pull that out of the bag, adjust it, and get it back upright, because I do want it to be growing up rather than to the side the way that it is. Not sure how well you can see in there. I have to admit that pruning on a beautiful day like today is actually quite therapeutic. You almost go into a meditative state and you just kind of trim away. And the nice thing about pruning is that you get immediate satisfaction. So a lot of things with gardening, you have to be patient. You have to wait for things to grow. You have to wait for things to happen. And when you're pruning and trimming, it all happens right away. So you get a lot of satisfaction. I can look at this row, and although it looks a little rough right now, I can see all the work that I did, and it feels great. And when the weather's great like this, it's just wonderful to be outside. So hope you guys are enjoying the good weather. Remember, you can prune in fall or in spring. Best to do it when the plants are dormant. I'm doing a little ahead of schedule, but the hydrangeas won't mind. So I'll talk to you guys all very soon.